They use essential oils for everything. No. Stop eating essential oils from an aromatherapist. Listen to her. Shut up, Karen. No. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? My name is Beth, or Queen of Spade. Please do give this video a like, subscribe if you're new here. I would love it if you joined our anti-MLM community. And let's just quickly roll some right quick. Today, I would like to talk to all of you about the first episode of Unwell, the documentary on Netflix that made my head want to explode. So I thought I would do a reaction on this channel to every single episode. So this video is going to be the very first episode, which a lot of people know as the essential oil episode. And what I did is I took some notes. You can't really see, but I took some notes. I swear they're on here. And we're just going to go through the whole episode, what happened, what my thoughts were on it. I don't want to show any scenes because your girl's going to get a copyright strike. And I don't need any more. I got enough false ones on me. So, because of that, we're just going to do me talking about it with my notes, and I hope that's cool with you. So, I want to discuss that there was a man in the hospital, and he talked about how he had a nurse that got only 250 hours of placement and 1 year of study, which I find on the low end, I have to admit. To me, it doesn't sound like a lot of education and training, but I'm not a nurse, so what the fuck do I know? However, it made me worry a little bit. The idea is that they're going to be using essential oils to treat this man. Now, one of the quotes that this nurse used was that it was made to make you feel better without any needles involved. That sounds great. However, please, if you are having a medical treatment done to you and needles are necessary, get the needles. Don't opt out for essential oils, please. That scared me a lot. So I was like, Nurse Karen, calm down. It talks a lot about anxiety, relaxing the body, bringing the pain level down. I hate how it's used. I hate how mental health is always brought up and used in things like this. Just saying. The man has a breathing tube in, which, by the way, that always worries me. I don't feel like we've had enough studies out here that have discussed the effects of essential oils on those with breathing issues. I have breathing issues and I have no clue. So there you go. It just worries me when I see someone, especially an older gentleman, with a breathing tube, and then people are talking about essential oils being burned around someone that needs oxygen. It just always creeps me out a bit. She also brings up opioid addictions, which really got me as a recovered addict myself. Again, please don't use us to promote your essential oil practices. No, it didn't sit right with me. She said that the oils and the opioids, if she gives someone opioids, they can work together to help the person get better, and hopefully they would need less opioids, which is fine and dandy to say. But again, if you need treatment and you are in severe pain, take what you need to take to get through it. It just irks me when people talk about replacing things with essential oils, something we have not studied enough to say we can replace it. And she even admits herself that some might be a placebo. Okay. And she claims that some medicines are too. So, like, what's the difference? The difference is in the study. Anyway, so that irked me a little bit. And then at the end of all of the episode, when they show this gentleman at the end, they show that he's walking afterwards and he talks about being in less pain. So they heavily imply that this is because of the nurse giving him the essential oils, which, again, I bet you there was a lot more that went into making it so that this man could walk again, besides the essential oils. It doesn't bother me as much when they talk about the essential oils helping the medical field, so it wasn't as cringe as some of the other ones we're going to be getting to. However, it was still like, oh, don't imply that this is making it so that you can walk now. It's just, no, Anyway, that's my thoughts on that dude and his nurse. This was to be a nurse in essential oils, by the way. So to be a nurse in essential oil training, you get 250 hours of placement in 1 year of study, and then you can just tell people to do essential oils along with the nursing, go off. That's all the training you need. Again, like, tell me if that doesn't seem like not a lot to you in the comments. I need to hear, because every other nursing thing takes so much longer, and I'm just like, how is this only 1 year and 250 hours for essential oil nursing training? The next group that they show is actually Julie Marshall, and she is a mom with 2 children. One of them's name is Sarah, and she has special needs. Now, it took her 4 years to get her daughter diagnosed with autism, which I think is ridiculous. Not on her. It wasn't on her. It was on the system and the process to get her daughter diagnosed. So as a society, someone's got to do something about that. That's ridiculous. 4 years. And she says that her daughter is 15, but she is far behind. And she talks about all the different kinds of therapies that she has done. It sounds like this family has gone through hell for this mom to try and get help for her daughter. And I really felt for the family when I was watching this. I was like, wow, it took her 4 years to get this girl diagnosed. She was probably going through hell during that. And I can't blame her at all for wanting to do anything she can do to possibly help her daughter. Because as a mom myself, that's what we do as moms. You do anything you can to help your kid. So that's kind of what led her to Laura. Now, Laura is in a parent support group, and she suggested aromatherapy. Her child's also disabled. They had success with it. So Laura is a clinical aromatherapist since 2003. She discusses the entire process of making the oil, and she claims, do not ingest the oils. This one might be my favorite one. Don't ingest the oils, says the aromatherapist. She's got the most training in it in the whole movie, other than the scientists. I'm just saying. She says she knows of the dangers. So again, at least there's that. She says she knows of the dangers of ingesting and how people use them in ways they're not supposed to, which, as anti-MLM advocates, we're talking about all the time, because the companies out here, the MLM companies that sell essential oils, which again, we'll get to, they like to promote eating them, which, no. Stop eating essential oils from an aromatherapist. Listen to her. She takes her daughter to this woman's house and lets the daughter try out several types of smells. It's actually kind of interesting to watch. And she has a daughter that actually carries around sunscreen. The smell of the sunscreen calms her daughter down. So it appears that scents work for this child. In that case, it could be helpful, right? I mean, if you know that your child calms down from smelling certain scents, there wouldn't be anything wrong with getting some essential oils, just not from an MLM company. Go to someone like Laura, who knows not to eat the oils. I'm all for that. And, you know, like, get something that would help your child calm down. I'm all for that. Please do that. And so basically, because of her daughter carrying around the sunscreen, and she also carries around shampoos too. Sorry, I just forgot to mention that part. The aromatherapy may work for her, and this woman is a registered aromatherapist. Like I said, she was my favorite one in the whole movie. At least she was smart about it, right? And I could tell at least she got some real training because she knows to eat them. I'm going to keep bringing that up. It's a problem. And one of the things that the mom said is that she wanted to calm down her daughter at bedtime, and she didn't want to give her kid melatonin, which honestly, I can relate to. I had to give my daughter melatonin for a little while, and I hated it. I gave it to her as little as possible. We just went through one of those growth spurt times where she refused to sleep at night. And so we had to. The kid was going to school. She couldn't be up all night long bouncing off the walls. So we kind of had to give her the melatonin on nights like that. And I hated it. So I don't, I'm like, yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't want to do that, especially with a child with disabilities. It might react differently. You never know. And again, I talked to a doctor before I gave it to my child, which is another thing I strongly recommend. If you are going to give melatonin to your child, please go talk to a doctor first. I know it's over the counter, but I just still suggest talking to a doctor first. Because in a situation like this with a disabled child, it might not be the answer, and it's just a good idea to talk to your doctor. So, she says that because her daughter can't verbalize any of the symptoms of anything, she doesn't like to give her things like melatonin or some of the heavier medications I'm sure that are out there. And I don't really have an issue with that. I feel like that's a human rights thing. She doesn't want to cross over her daughter's human rights since her daughter can't voice any symptoms, voice any bad feelings that the meds give her, and so she doesn't feel like it's morally right to give her kid things when she can't voice them, and her kid is 15. So it isn't like her kid is a baby, and so it's kind of nice to see the mom have that respect for her and start to realize, she is still a teenager and she does still, to an extent, control her own body. And if she can't voice it, then it might be better, right? And so the daughter smells the chamomile oil and she smiles. So there's success for Sarah, and she might help to sleep that night. And so then basically what happens, she says the first night the diffuser was successful with Sarah at the end of the video. And 3 months later, she says the diffuser is working for Sarah's sleeping, and it's helping her be more calm and peaceful and stay in a routine, and everyone is noticing a change in her, and she isn't as fussy. She attributes the success of her daughter now to good sleep, and that to her is because of the essential oil smells being able to calm her daughter down in the night. And it could be. I mean, that makes sense to me. She knows it's a tool though, and it's not in any way one size fits all, and knows it isn't a cure, and she was very good about voicing that, which I very much appreciated. As a viewer, I was like, okay, thank you. I'm glad that, for you, it's just an aid to help sleep and calm down your kid. It's not like medicine to cure your kid, which is, again, an issue we have out here with people saying that. And the one thing that stuck out to me about her is she said that the essential oils made her feel empowered now with Sarah, and that she's in a better place with her daughter, and her daughter seems in a better place because of them. Honestly, I don't see any problem with that. I thought that was fucking fabulously wonderful. I was like, good. If it works for you, then use it. She's using them responsibly. She's using them for all the right reasons. She's even gone and tried every single thing that she could with her daughter, all the therapies, all the medical help she could. So it's not like she's one of those parents that said, nah, I'm not doing that. We just using oils. So good on her. And I honestly wish them all the best, and I hope it continues to work. Listen. The next people that we're going to talk about drove me fucking insane. I'm just going to read through my notes. Just listen to this. So, we have a father using essential oil sprays on his children, and he's a blogger. Places like YouTube. Essential oil masterclass, Dr. Z. Am I going to check out Dr. Z now one day in the future? Damn fucking right I am. He claims that 15 to 20 minutes a day for 10 days and you will know everything about essential oils. He sells masterclasses and books to teach essential oils. The family has 4 children, 3 boys and a girl. They use essential oils for fucking everything. They cook with them. They cook with them. That's just a sentence on its own, all in all big capital letters. It's like, they cooked with them. That drives me insane. Remember? She said, don't eat the oils. He argues you can eat essential oils. I will argue you to the death that you can't. He says he will argue anyone who says otherwise. So, Dr. Z, anytime that you would like to come up on my channel with me and debate me about whether or not you can eat essential oils, I'm down. Let's do it. He often ingests them with his children. So he's feeding the essential oils to his children when you're not supposed to ingest essential oils. I'm just putting it out there. He was chronically unwell and got clinical depression as a child and self-medicated with drugs. He hit rock bottom at 22 and at 23 had a spiritual lightning. He became a Christian and claims in a moment all his stress and pain was relieved. He had gut issues, acne, and sleeping issues, and discusses the essential oils used in the Bible. Here's the thing. Fuck off with that. I'm sorry. I'm atheist, but I have a lot of friends that are Christian that I adore, and they just know I'm atheist, so they'll be like, I'll pray for you, and I'll be like, cool. And then we just go on. If they go through something, they'll be like, positive vibes, and they're just like, thanks. Like, it's not a thing, right? Like, we don't have to get into arguments about our religions. One of the most annoying things to me out here, even as an atheist, is honestly when these types of people use religion. Like, essential oils were used with Jesus, and so because of that, you should buy my essential oils. No! Shut the fuck up, okay? praying and using that is just, it even bugs me. So I can imagine being religious and having that like constantly used and like constantly thrown in my face too. It would just be like, shut up, Karen. No. So stop that shit. It annoys everyone. The Christians, the Muslims, the Mormons, and I'm telling you, even the fucking atheists. So stop. Don't use Jesus. He would tell you to fuck off. He claims that everything be made of essential oils. Dude, what? Pick your battles. Queen, pick your battles. He believes that he is to teach the world all about essential oils. His wife was Miss America and had children and felt her dreams weren't over yet. That's literally what she said. That's how she explained it. They claim they are realists and that's why they are so popular. They are relatable. To who? The essential oil hunts? Oh yay. You wanna see real? It shows her getting her makeup and her hair done, by the way, and how their home turns into a TV set for their videos, including with their kids. I think it's a little bit cringe, but you do you, boo. She talks about how she was on food stamps and how you can join their team instead of buying Starbucks, the famous, it'll cost you your 1 cup of Starbucks a day. Like, bitch, no, I want my Starbucks. He uses God like a lot. Like I said, like, it's constant, like, God, God, God. It's like, God, shut the fuck up. Like, stop using it. He even tries to be like, God directed you here. He directed you to our stuff. Like, no. I promise you. Then he does something that makes me want to. This motherfucker claims that essential oils can cure cancer. No, they can't. Stop fucking saying that. I have friends that are survivors of cancer. I will slap you if you ever stand in front of me and say that to me. Then he gives the system was designed to keep away this message. The system, it's big pharma and the doctors don't want us to know that essential oils are amazing and they cure everything, even cancer. Least favorite people in the whole thing, even despised them more than the Humbots we gonna get to in a minute. I promise. This couple is cancer themselves. Listen, but if your essential oils cured cancer, you won't be out here doing that. How's that? E-Joy Bowles, another dream person in this breath of fresh air where I went, oh, thank God, somebody else with some intelligence here. We needed you. This whole thing. It was very torturous for me to get through this. I had to pause it a bunch and like go smoke a bong because I was like, so this person I enjoyed. They talk about how the oils are regulated, but there are strict guidelines in the FDA, and talks about how people make claims that they don't have evidence for. And I was here like, preach, sister, preach! Yeah! Oh yeah, I was. And knows clinical trials don't correlate with human experience. And they have done 3 or 4 human experiences with oils, uses the lavender oil study as an example, and we're going to go through that soon. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I'm going to be doing a video very soon where I'm going to talk about essential oils and why it's not good to eat them, what people say to actually use them for, and how to use them, you know, all that lovely stuff. It's coming up, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't so that you don't miss it, you know? And so basically, I'll just quickly explain it. So half of them were given the lavender and the other half were given lorazepam. They wanted to see if it would work. And basically, it didn't really prove anything. Again, I want to get more into it, more depths in a future video. So she says, Joy is such a joy to me, and Joy says that basically it doesn't cure anyone. Thank you. Can you tell Dr. Z that? Motherfucker seems to think it cures cancer. Go get him, Joy. What happens is she talks about what is problematic with the essential oil companies and how they say to use too much. Because they're like, use it for everything, put it on you all the time, eat the stuff like just, and it can actually be an overuse. We're getting to that in a minute. And so basically there is no evidence of all this being safe. The constant consumption and using of oils. And also that right now in our world, we are technically running a worldwide human clinical study on essential oils. So we have no clue what the fuck they do or anything. We're just out here doing all this stuff with them. And it's the world's largest human trial ever. And it's true. Like, I was like, holy fuck. It was crazy. It's a revelation for me. What about you? I'd never thought of it that way. And when she said that, I was like, fucking scary. But thank you, Joy. You gave me joy in that video. Allison. Allison is a wellness advocate with doTERRA. And that is the next person that we meet in this documentary. And we all know how I feel about doTERRA. If you don't know, I've done some videos. You can go check them out. I do have an anti-MLM playlist with like over 120 anti-MLM videos. I have a series with like 10 videos. I got a lot of stuff. You can go check it out. Find out what I think, but you might find out some here. So she talks about sharing them with her church, family, friends. She has parties at her home. She's a real good unbot. She promotes her oils, but claims nobody has to buy anything. Yeah, she's one of those. She talks about looking for solutions for a health concern, and she's going on in her life when she shows us a party. She talks about how she was diagnosed with a brain tumor when she was 13, which is very sad, and I'm so sorry she went through that. That's awful. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And she says a teenager that had to have an operation to have her tumor removed, and some was inoperable. So she had a neighbor who introduced her to the oil and the company. Now, this neighbor, to me, is not a very good person because they have this young woman had cancer and they used that to get her to buy their oil, sign up for the tea. Pretty sure she's underage when they do it too. So, anyway, she claims that the oils fight viruses and bacteria. Again, there's nothing in science that backs this up. Stop saying this. She claims her neurosurgeon didn't know she was using oils and her mom didn't tell him because she was scared of children's services. And they never did chemo or radiation, and she claims the oils cured her cancer. She knows she can't make medical claims. She believes in healthcare, and Big Pharma don't want people to know about the healing properties of oils. And she basically talks about how she goes around those rules to suggest they help with medical issues. She rats herself out. Right there in the Unwell documentary. The doTERRA hun that ratted herself out in the essential oil documentary for doing false medical claims. Bad, Hunbot, bad! And one of her quotes is, "Someone would ask me, is there an oil for? And I would say 99.9% of the time the answer is yes." Fuck you. Listen, Allison. 99.9% of the time, people in your company ain't making money. So if I were you, I'd just settle down. This woman says that oils help with medical issues, compares oils to traditional medical care, and says oils are safer, cheaper, more effective, and she has seen what she calls miracles. No, Allison. Stop lying. Why the fuck you lying? Humbot's always lying. Why the fuck you lying? I should make that into a Hunbot song. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that. I totally will. So she is a diamond. And she claims that she makes $20,000 in earnings per month. So she does an illegal income claim as well while doing the documentary. Smart girl. And so she talks about how the larger her team is, the more lives she touches. So that's when the paychecks start to grow. Is there any more of an MLM way to say that? No. She considers herself as someone who supports her team, and she tells people to make 14 enrollments a month. Bitch, that's like one person every 2 days. You really think people are going to be signing up one person every 2 days for doTERRA on your team? What planet are you on? This bitch be on Pluto. She's like out of the fucking solar system. She has no clue what's going on. She's demanding people sign up 14 people a month on their MLM pyramid scheme team, and I'm watching this like, that's too much for me. I was like, I had to pause it at that point, like, go take a break. She goes off about how people come and get cars, like, everyone just comes and wins a car for working for my team. It's so ridiculous. It makes me just the whole time. And then she has on the phone, and they're talking about how she cannot sign up. She's like, I can't sign up 14 people. Like, it's not working. I'm trying so hard, and it's not happening. And she goes on to say that she loves doing it as a career, but she doesn't find it profitable. And the funny thing about this is that they put this in the documentary, luckily, but it's just so funny to see her talking about how great everything is. And then at the end of them showing her, they basically show her talking to a hun, demanding she get 14 other huns a month. And the girl's like, I can't do it. And like, I love the oils and stuff, but I'm not making any money in this. Aren't I supposed to be making money? Which is often the case in these MLMs. You're not making money. You're working around the clock. And you end up with a garage full of doTERRA oils. Then we have Rachel, thank God, another person that was a godsend in this entire video. And Rachel Monroe is a journalist. She looks into the sales of essential oils and why they are popular. And she discusses Young Living and doTERRA as MLM companies. I agree with everything she says when she does it. I highly recommend, if you can torture yourself through it, to go watch it yourself. Because that part was very informative. And I'm sure everyone watching that in the anti-MLM community was like, yeah, tell him. She also brings up Amway and Mary Kay and how MLMs have taken on a new life. She went to the Young Living convention and she discusses how they are selling an essential oil culture or lifestyle instead of, just being a business. Like, it's an entire lifestyle and culture that has taken over. If you've noticed in society, this whole holistic medicine, essential oils, even like magic being used thing, it's a little weird, I'll admit. She discusses that a little bit. She talks about how elaborative the decorations are at the conventions and how fake it looks. I mean, let's be real. It's supposed to look all extravagant and wonderful, but you're in a pyramid scheme, so not that great, sis. She even talks about Gary Young and how he was a larger-than-life figure and helped create this entire industry. Again, I did a video on Young Living. I did a video discussing Gary Young. Go check that out especially if you're not familiar with Gary Young and Young Living and all that. Please go watch that. I want to make sure everyone knows who that man is. Scary man. He has a degree from naturopathy from a non-credited university, which again I bring up in my video. She brings up the water birth and how he began the company in 1993. If you don't know about the water birth, again, go watch my video. You'll be shocked, you'll be appalled, and you won't believe that that's the man that created that company. So yeah. And she talks about how this empire grew and it spread this essential oil lifestyle, which, again, I have to agree, and maybe we'll get into that when I do my essential oil video and how it is a lifestyle being promoted, especially by MLMs. And then what it does is it shows a mom who did Young Living. It talks about being a recovered hun now and how she was a stay-at-home mom. So basically, she's one of us. She did everything that they recommended she do, like many of us did. She spent money and she felt it was a good business opportunity, but it was not. And that's what she said. She was like, I felt like it was, but it wasn't. She discusses the class action lawsuit. She joined the lawsuit herself, and she discusses how the business model isn't making money and just selling oils, and how she had to sign up people, and to earn commissions, you have to purchase $100 in products yourself as well, or you don't get your commissions, which is shitty. Like, the fuck? I made that money. You give me my money, I make. She talks about creating an Instagram and old friends and family, and she never got anyone to do it as a business, and how they don't believe in oversaturation, and is told over and over again, anyone can accomplish this, and she isn't hustling enough if she doesn't accomplish it, which is, again, something that a lot of us talk about when we leave any MLM. We say they put it on you. They're like, you didn't work hard enough. That's why you're not a millionaire right now. Doesn't matter. The whole thing's set up to fail against you and steal your money. It's your fault. Karen. She talks about how embarrassed she is that she pulled people into a pyramid scheme. I want to talk about that for a minute. Don't be embarrassed. You were also manipulated. We don't blame the Huns, we blame the companies. Some of the Huns at the top, they know what they're doing. Them I blame a bit. But most of the downline, they're just manipulated into it. You were as manipulated as you manipulated them. Does that make sense? So to me, I always tell people not to feel embarrassed, not to feel bad about that. Just maybe do whatever you can to make it right. Maybe let them know that, you found that out about the company. Try to spread some info to them. If they don't want to receive it, then just kind of leave it. But it's also on them themselves to look into things and know, just like it was on you. And we can't all just blame our upline, right? We also have to take accountability for ourselves joining the company and why we did it, and look at that so that it doesn't happen to us. It helps to talk about those things so that it spreads awareness about that, so that other people out there going through similar struggles that we went through when we joined know not to join these companies, because it ain't working for any of us. It probably won't work for you. Okay? It doesn't work for 99.6% of people. It's not going to work for you. Go to the casino instead. That's that. She wants people to understand that MLMs are predatory and that you will lose money, and it isn't what they make it sound like. And so do all of we out here doing this anti-MLM advocacy. That's a very big message that we all try to get across, is that they make it sound wonderful. They say, come join us. You'll barely have to do a thing and you'll make all this money and you won't have to buy product and it probably won't cost you much. But then you get there and you start doing it and they lied. It's the opposite of what you thought. Then the movie shows us the lawyer that's suing Young Living. And I got a kick out of this. Shows the lawyer that's taken down Young Living due to their MLM scheme. Austin Ty. Can we just all, round of applause for him? Because it's a big job, but it needs to be done. So, yeah. Take that company down, man. I'm all for it. What he wants to do is he wants to prove them to be a pyramid scheme in court. That's what he's going to court with. And he does believe that all MLMs are pyramid schemes. Many of us are starting to kind of come around to that, because it seems like no matter how much we try to help them be a better business, and the FTC and the FDA and the BBB all get at them and say you need to do this and that to be better, they just don't do it. So, you want to be a pyramid scheme that's doing illegal stuff? I don't, what are you? Anyway, it's just, most of us have just been like, yeah, we kind of have to admit they're pyramid schemes now, guys. Sorry. He discusses how the downline and upline relationship in depth, so I highly recommend at least watching that part of the video. Try and get through it. It's a hard one. I did it. I believe in you. He talks about the personal volume and how hunts need to buy inventory. How recruiting is the only place the money is made, and that's the way it is with all. Whether you're recruiting downlines, diamonds, affiliates, and makeup artists, I don't care what you call yourselves. You're still making people join. You're still getting a commission off of them in some way, or some kind of reward for getting them to join. And it's very dependent on people joining. That's what makes it an MLM. If you have to get more people to join in, yeah. He says that only 46 people have made it to the top of Young Living. And that's, honestly, there's millions of members of this company. So just put that into perspective. And those 46 people, about 20 of them are the CEOs, people that work at the top of the headquarters of the company. So just keep that in mind too. He says that Young Living denies the allegations made in the lawsuit and always conducts itself with compliance. Did a video on the lawsuits again. You can go check that out. I'm not going to get into all how they break compliance right now. But if you're here and you're in an anti-MLM community, you know that they do it. And your head probably just exploded when I read to you that that's what he says they say. Because it's like, yeah, you fucking do. Reviewing this is going to give me an aneurysm. I swear to God. I'm only at the first episode. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. This was one of the worst things I've ever watched. tortured myself for all of you. One more person to discuss. We can do this. The very last person in this video discussed, now that I've had a breather, because honestly, talking about people using religion and saying that essential oils cure cancer, and then hearing Unbots go on about how great their business is, all within the very same one episode of a documentary, made me want to just... And it wasn't very nice. So the last person we need to talk about is, of course, another Unbot. Now you know why I needed a break. So it shows another woman who discusses how she drank the Kool-Aid. And I mean, that's how she puts it. I won't name the company, but she is an ex-Hun from an essential oil company. And I looked it up. She's from doTERRA. I'm really sorry. I'm a nosy bitch. A friend told her she could take them internally. She talks about how she was using them every day. So she is eating these oils, rubbing them on herself, breathing them in every day. She got a rash on her forearm. I want you to hear this out. This got so frustrating for me to hear because I actually didn't really know that you could actually overuse. And I couldn't believe that this is a thing. And I haven't heard much about it. People don't talk about this. Why are more people not talking about this? I need people out there that have had this happen to them to really come out and start talking about this, please. It's so important. And the biggest thing that drove me crazy about this person was how well they were getting the beginning of the symptoms. They just kept going. Like, I need you to hear this. It drove me nuts. And I wasn't even mad at her. It wasn't like her that drove me nuts, because I understand that she's a Hun, so she was like manipulated. She fell for it. What drove me nuts is the fact that this company and the people above her uplines, did this shit, man. So she was a Unbot for doTERRA. She gets a rash on her arm. And what happens is she puts tea tree oil on it. The next day it was worse. She turned to the Facebook groups. Don't do that. Go to the doctor. You see how indoctrinated this person was. Guys, it's sad to me. It's like, no, don't be that person. What are you doing? Hair. Whatever. She didn't go to the doctor, and the Facebook group told her to take more oils to detox her body. We're not even done yet. The rash spread to the back of her neck, her leg, then stomach. Her entire body swelled. And she felt her whole body was on fire. Fire! She felt like she was on fire, and she still wasn't going to the hospital. The Facebook group's telling her to take more and more oils, and she's over here blown up like a balloon, wondering what's going on. She says that the rash moved to her face, which is about when she decided that that's when it was getting serious. Not when her body felt like it was on fire, but don't mess with this pretty face, baby. When it moved to her face was swelled and it began to ooze fluid, and that's when she stopped all of the oils and she gave herself allergies to them. She went to the doctor and they told her that she gave herself allergies to the oils by overusing them because she was using them in way too much of mass quantities by using them for everything all the time, all day long, 24/7. Her entire body was damaged. It took her 5 years. 5 years for this to go away. She went to the chief medical officer of doTERRA, because I'm a nosy bitch and know which company it is now. She kept getting told he was out of town, and she never got a response. The famous, sorry, our boss is out of town. We can't get him on the phone right now. And then just, he never calls you. Then she talks about how many people have had bad reactions to essential oils, and she says there's a lack of training and they are told to just keep buying, keep using, show it off to your friends and family, attraction marketing, blah, 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 right? So here's the thing. Why are essential oils still being used with no regularity or training? And honestly, I was like, good fucking question. And so at the end of Unwell, they basically leave it open to you. I think they did a really good job of showing all the sides. They obviously, they showed people that believed in the oils even too much. And then they even showed people who were injured, which again, I was so surprised to hear that you could get that injured, and it made me mad to think that maybe other people were experiencing this. I thought, though, that the documentary did a really good job of showing all sides. They did a good job of putting the information in there about how you shouldn't eat the oils. And I do kind of like how they sort of ended it on don't overuse the oils, don't eat the oils, and, please only use them as a tool. I got that message from it. Maybe you got a different message. Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Love to hear what you think about this. Again, this is just the first episode. I'm planning on doing a react like this to each episode individually, because apparently I hate myself and just want to torture myself out here. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that, even though watching this is but I'll do it, and we'll talk about it, because it is covering a lot of the topics of my channel. Each episode tends to kind of be covering something that I plan on talking about on here or already have. And so I thought it would be fun if I reacted to each one, discussed each one separately, maybe a little bit more in detail. Then if there are people out there that maybe can't get through it, that find it torturous like I do, you can just watch my video instead, and then you can find out all about it and everything they say and promote and educate us and inform us on, and you get to watch me react. Hopefully that's fun for you. I don't know. Let me know if you like to watch me react to things. I feel like the internet does, though. So guys, let me know what you think of this. I know I just said let me know 500 times. Let me. Feel like I'm fucking begging. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna end the video there before I just who knows where I'll go. So no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous day. On Monday, I'm going to have something really fun for everybody. Friday, I'm going to be taking on a scammer next Friday. So, again, like this video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Karen. That's that.